Okay. This, shout out Nitro Fun. He's probably not watching the stream. I wish he was. Shout out Nitro Fun. This is the song that got me into EDM production. Because when this song dropped, I very quickly learned from like looking at threads on Reddit and comments on YouTube and stuff like that. Nitro Fun is a year younger than I am. And he made this. This is literally the song that inspired me to start making music because I was like, hold on. If somebody who is a year younger than I am can do this, then maybe I can too. So when I think about it, like I really owe everything my time as a musician has come to Nitro Fun. And this song, New Game. This was way ahead of its time as well. Not just like with the video game sounds, which became like Nitro Fun's signature with his old school. His remix of Televisor's Old School was actually what started that. I think it's a relatively little known fact because everyone just loves New Game and everyone knows New Game. But Nitro Fun's first appearance on the label was actually through a remix contest that Televisor was holding. Yeah, this was Nitro Fun's true, like, actual debut on Monstercat. This was before I actually got invested in the label's music as well. They were holding a remix contest and Nitro Fun was the winner of it. And this song was actually his, like, true debut on Monstercat. And it has that, like, classic chiptune sound that just became his signature from then on. I mean, his logo is just his name in, like, pixel. That's like the Minecraft font. That's kind of funny. But, yeah, it's just, like, very, very chiptune-y inspired sound. Yeah, and you can hear those, like, it's going back and forth between the two channels as well. Wow. Yeah, and there's some of like the guitars and the slap bass from the original song as well. But that gosh, I don't even know what to call that sound, but it was like that snappy thing. That's like a very distinctly like 8-bit sound. So Nitro Fun was on Monstercat before New Games drop. That's like the tidbit that I wanted to talk about with this song because I started learning the history from it there. Like, I had listened to this song every so often just from, like, listening through 014, but I never really realized that this was the history that would lead us to... Okay, so I think I remember back in the day... Hold on. What key is this in? Okay, so it is F sharp minor, but that ostinato in the beginning. Yeah, okay, so that ostinato in the beginning is simply just like. But in the bass of that, you can hear. So that's 1, 3, 4. 6, and then 7. And then there's that harmonious. Oh my god. I'm like tweaking out. I'm like tweaking out and geeking out at the same time. Okay, so then it harmonizes with yeah, okay, so the third right there. It's just simply like yeah, so that's the third right there. I can't really play it that fast at full speed. Yeah, but that just adds like it's not the same as like when you normally cuz the normal approach to harmonizing a lead section everybody uses just like parallel fourths or parallel fifths or parallel octaves. So, it's such an underrated way of doing it. Using like parallel thirds or parallel sixths. That just adds so much more, like, texture to it. More people need to be doing that. Myself included, I think. You can hear that, like, bit crush snare as well. That pulse lead is just, like, slowly rising. Like, you're just pushing the pitch bend wheel up an octave or so. That sound! Okay, the sound Nitro Fun uses in this, I'm getting so excited. Okay, the sound Nitro Fun used in that, I recognized it immediately. It's from a Mario game for the Nintendo DS. I think it was Super Mario 64. in one of the mini games, you're playing like shuffleboard with the shells, and when the shells collide with each other, they make that sound. So Nitro Fun sampled that for the drop in new game. I recognized this immediately because I remembered playing this minigame on my brother's Nintendo DS. It was a DSi XL actually, but there, the Mario pipe sound as well. So this is Nitro Fun like absolutely like leaning hard into this like retro video game aesthetic in his music. Okay, so that's just like a simple lick right there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's borrowed from the beginning, cause yeah, it's just borrowed from the beginning. You can hear bits of that ostinato in the beginning as well. That's a major 6 as well. Okay, so even in the melody, wow, everybody uses accidentals in this. So okay, I don't know what happens after that, but yeah, that's a raised 6 right there as well. Okay, because normally in F sharp minor, the notes would be. But that's like a little bit of that's like borrowing a note from the parallel Dorian scale instead. Okay. And here comes that ostinato again. What is that note? Oh, okay, that's it. Okay, so it's... Yeah, there we go, okay. So that's actually like, I'm pretty sure that's like entirely an F sharp Dorian then. Okay. And then the second drop is just a reprise of the first one, I think. Very common back in these days. I mean, it still is. I always like to change things up in my songs though. Oh, okay, the harmony on the lead again. Okay, yeah. Those are parallel thirds again, I think. I'm not gonna waste too much time on that because I've wasted enough time already. Okay, we're at an hour in. Okay, so I was actually reasonably quick with that one. Yeah, how I managed to spend an hour on 2 songs off this album. I haven't even talked about like just generally the production and sound design either.